What's up, my fellow collectors? This is Isoka. So today we're going to be going over a few things. So this is the aftermath of that EX series collection purchase. This is set number 5 and 6, and I wanted to do a few things different this time and kind of explain the aftermath of a collection purchase. You know, it's nice to talk about it. You know, you see pictures, you get an idea about what things are like, and kind of your estimated projections, and then you get a chance to go through the cards. And like Mike Tyson said, you know, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So looking through the cards one by one is kind of like a punch in the mouth. You get a realization of what you're kind of expected to get from PSA. You know, you kind of have an idea about what the collector had, their story, even past sets as well. And sometimes you get sets that are absolutely flawless, and then other sets look like they let their kids have them. Maybe their kids did get access to them. So in reality, you don't always know what to expect. And so today's video is going to go over the aftermath, you know, kind of explaining what I was doing, the cards that I picked out that will go to grading, my grading strategy with these specific cards, and also going over how I ship them as well to the grading companies. And the method I use is registered mail with USPS. But first, let's go ahead and show just the two piles. Out of both master sets, this is all that's going to be graded. So in my left is the gold stars and EXs and secret rares. This pile is the hollows and reverse hollows. And so that's going to wait till PSA opens up. I feel that it's worth it for those. These bigger cards, I can get my money back, and those have a lot better shot at a PSA 10 than these do right here. So this is what I'm going to send to CGC. All the gold stars for about 50 bucks a card with, so that's subgrades. They're going to be coming back. Actually, I have my sheet here. 300 and so yeah, $50, about 58 bucks a card, basically. Nice swirl right there. I signed up for the CGC Elite membership before CGC kind of got bombarded and the prices blew up, so I get about a 15% discount when right now you're only going to get a 10% discount. So I'm going to take advantage of that discount and get these cards encapsulated and have them for sale and try to recoup some of that cost quickly to buy the next set. And obviously just hold on to the rest of the hollows and reverse hollows that aren't being graded. But yeah, so this is basically all that made it. And this doesn't mean that these are all grade worthy. I believe I mentioned previously, or either on a sales video, that I filled in the form before I actually had these cards in hand, because I wasn't sure if CGC was going to have another price change or shut down. So I go ahead and filled out some submission forms for the sets that I am planning on purchasing. Like that Mew EX is kind of scratched up. I expect somewhere between like a 7 to 8.5, probably more like an 8 at most. And so these cards, regardless of whether or not they were going to be, they're worthy of being sent now, I'm going to send them anyway because I put them on the form and I already filled that out. Today, PSA or CGC is still open, but I'm just going to leave it as is at this point and not really sweat it. So those are the cards that are going to CGC. And I sent them at varying levels. The EXs or the gold stars are going at Express. The Absol, Salamence, Arcanine, and Mew are going at, I don't know this value here. They're standard, and there's one above that, so it's not giving me the number on here for CGC as far as what they're sent on. But yeah, I sent them at 3 different levels. So that's what I have going to CGC. Those are all going in the same package. And then these cards are the ones I'm going to sit on with the rest of the Minty Mint cards from these sets when PSA opens up. And I will send these off. A lot of these cards I just sent off just because I really enjoy the artwork there. Let's see if I can get this to pop a lot more. This card, I mean, this card's probably going to get a 9 at most. Really good centering. The back's great. There are some scuffs on the left side. But even if it only gets a 9, I'll be happy with it. I'm really going to keep a lot of these cards from Legend Maker. I really just like the artwork. Camilla right here. Really nice card. Fortunately, the Gengar set, the Evolution line, was in very mint condition. So, and then this card, I don't think I've seen anything by Boba. Boba, okay. I just like the artwork. And so some of these cards I'm fine with just sending off and sitting on. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Look at this card by Kazuki. I think that's probably going to get a 9. And I just enjoyed the card. This one, I did find a PSA 10 on eBay. They want 380 bucks. I think the most they'd probably pay for this is like 200, 225. So at some point I'll message them. I don't think anybody else is willing to spend that much money on it. So that is what is going to PSA. So some pretty good cards there. You know, a lot of these I am anticipating a lot of them getting PSA 9s. There were other cards that were questionable. The Charizard, both holo and regular holo, will at least get a PSA 8, maybe 8.5 to a 9. But I really don't feel like sending those in. At this point, they're just part of the set that I have. And I only need to replace about 20 or 30 cards to remake those traditional master sets with that. So other than that, that's kind of what I have there. And so the second half, as I talked about, is how I send these cards off when I mail them. So what I have here is this 300 count box. Let's see if I can put that up there. BCW. I do these as well. They're 400 counts where I cut off the top here and it looks like this. Basically looks like this. And I fill them in. I just stack the cards this way. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at the recording thing and yeah, so I'm failing. So this is kind of what I do. I just stack them like this and just leave them there. And then I just have rows of the cards filled up. Makes it easy for me to have like little tabs and labels on there for me to search through it. And that's kind of how I sort and organize the cards so they're out in the open. And I could also break them apart and go through them like that. So this is what I do. I end up putting the cards in there. Let me go ahead and show this on screen. So I can back this up a little more. You a big fine box when you back that thing up. All right. So, yeah, I just put this on there as an added security. If your cards don't fit in here perfectly, you can always kind of make a sandwich in there. But the reason why I like this 300 count box is because the cards fit in here perfectly, or about as perfect as you can get. Let's see if I can. So yeah, just you can see there the cards fit in there really great. You can see them all the way in there, and you can just kind of lock them up a little bit, put some cushion behind it, and so that's what I'll do. I'll stuff those in here, and from there I'll just put a rubber band around it, put some newspaper, or even make a sandwich how you kind of ship certain cards out of cardboard. And so I'll just basically put that in there, make a sandwich so it's even more protected. You can even use a small flat rate box and put the cards in there and then put that inside of what is a medium flat rate box. So it makes like a little square like this. And I put the cards inside there. I stuff it with newspapers and other things like that. And then for registered mail, what you need is you need this right here. It's a brown wrapping tape. And the underside is kind of like an envelope where you wet it, you lick it. I don't think you're supposed to do that nowadays. You don't know who touched it. I still like to lick it though. And so from here, I basically just take like a towel, small towel, and I just get it wet, and I have a dry one as well. And then I cut these into pieces based on the box dimensions. So if I'm going to wrap the box, I'll basically take it like this, and I'll cut a piece off, and then I'll marry it up or match it up over here, and I'll cut 4 pieces for the 4 sides of the box. Then I'll take this side and I'll cut it, and then basically once I have all the pieces ready, I have the wet towel, I simply wipe it down and you cover the edges of the box. So anything where there's a seam on your medium-sized flat rate box, you just tape and cover. And obviously, so this would be this size right here, and it would stick basically. So you cut a little bit shorter than your length, and you cover all of the edges and gaps. You can even cover the spots that don't have any, just so it looks uniform. And then you just take a little sheet and you fill it out at, I guess I don't have any here, but there's registered mail slips that you fill out. You put the registered shipping number on there, or the amount that you want to have it insured for. And shipping is so much cheaper. Since it is registered, it will be slower, but it's 99% guaranteed to get there. The shipping method that Leonhardt used to get his first edition Charizard holo graded by PSA was sent like priority and went missing for months. It was this big debacle, and he milked it like a cow. I mean, just like boo-hoo. I get it. It's sad. It's horrible. But at this point, he should have known that it was, you send that registered. Anybody that's a collector for a long time uses registered or has some sort of insurance on it. So I don't know if whether I'll upload that because of the heat I'll get, but it's just kind of, you send it registered. It gets there slower, but it's going to get there. And it very, very rarely do you ever hear of any issues with registered, especially with PSA. I've heard of it being shipped to other people registered and having issues, but if it's going to PSA, I have not heard of any issues where registered mail did not get there. And so you could ship quite a large value for very cheap. I know that when I sent stuff to PWCC for auction back in 2017 when I sold out, I paid about $200, $240 for about 50 grand worth of insurance, and all of the stuff made it to PWCC. And I had some terrific sales at that point. Sold off a lot of stuff, although PWCC kind of jammed it all together. Should have got its own kind of its own block at that point, but I don't think they valued it like they did now. And even now they still jam all that stuff together. But that's kind of what I use to ship and what I've used all these years. And yeah, it's a little extra with the money. You can forego spending the insurance and the registered shipping and just send it normal. But to me, it's just about risk mitigation. If I spent 7 grand on a purchase and I lose that 7 grand, I'm out of it. So that's something to take in consideration when you buy these collections. What are you looking to spend? And then from there, how much is it going to cost me to grade? How much is it going to cost me to ship? Am I looking at grading several cards at a higher price that I can get back quickly? Or am I going to have to wait a while, like right now with PSA, and their bulk services probably not going to be opened up until late 2021 or even 2022. So that's kind of what I do for the shipping, and the second half of just going through a collection. And sometimes, you get punched in the mouth. You're not quite sure what the condition's going to be. And side tangent before I kind of end the video, there was another EX series collection that had come to my attention, and I messaged this person. I could have messaged the other person as well. And about a month or so after I made the deal for this collection, the other person ended up auctioning them off. A friend of mine, one of the EX series collectors, ended up purchasing about 5 to 8 sets, and they said they're pretty minty condition. From their recent returns, I'd say, yeah, there was a better chance that those were in better condition than with this. So sometimes when you find a collection like this, it's not always as cracked up as you thought it would be, and then at the same time, the conditions aren't always as good as you'd hope for. So it's definitely a gamble, but considering this, I'm just looking at breaking even a lot of times, or only being down about $1,000 or $2,000 when I have the rest of the set, here with me. So that's my sort of experience with this collection purchase. Overall, I'm happy. There's a lot of cards in here that I can sell and recoup a lot of the costs. And now I have nearly a complete set for a binder set for just the regular commons through holo rares and reverses, and I'm pretty happy with that. It makes it easy. I don't have to track them down. Overall, these cards are in 7 to 9 condition from the cards that weren't being graded. So I'm pretty happy with it. So hopefully this gives you all an idea about what to do when you're buying a collection, and also maybe some tips for how to ship your cards to the grading company. So without further ado, I'm going to stop this video, except I disconnected my keyboard. So all right, let's see.